Greetings, Barcadians. Welcome to this week's episode of the BA News Show. Before we get underway though, we just wanted to give a little public announcement to everybody on the channel. Don't forget we are running a giveaway at the moment. There's a spectacular N64 themed curio designed and built by our very own Rich. And yeah, if you haven't got your entry in, then jump over to that video now and click the button. And what do you have to do again, Rich? Oh, leave a comment.
Just leave a comment. That's it.
And be subscribed. But if you're watching this video, hopefully you are subscribed. Because we're drawing, is it this coming Monday, we said?
Yes, Monday, 27th.
Fantastic. So, what have we got for you today? It's a fully packed out show. So we've got 4 items and a little bit of a little bonus drop at the end as well. So let's kick us off. First and foremost, we've had some kind of exciting PS5 rumours this week, all engendered towards a PS5 February reveal event that is apparently, according to an anonymous 4chan leaker, going to be revealed at Sony Hall in New York City on February the 5th. So not that long away at all. Some of the really juicy details, again from the same 4chan leaker, are that it's going to be fully backwards compatible from the PS1 onwards, which is really exciting. I think that's something that gamers have wanted for a long time, and be very interesting to see how they're going to achieve that. And then furthermore, the same leaker suggested that the slogan was going to be "It's time to play." Now, obviously, 4chan is a site that often has a lot of misinformation on it, so at this point, people weren't sure. But something really interesting that then corroborated this leak. PlayStation Europe actually released on their Twitter account the slogan "It's time to play." So it really starts to add credence to this apparent leak. And then further to that, finally, we had David Jaffe. I think that's how you pronounce his name. He's a games developer, created Twisted Metal and the original God of War. He's suggested, this was on the 16th of January, that it was 4 weeks away, the big PlayStation 5 reveal. And apparently it's the worst kept secret in games. So, it seems to be pointing towards this February reveal, which is very exciting. What do you think to that, Rich?
Yeah, it's very interesting. So basically on the downer news that we are cancelling our trip to E3 because Sony have decided to no-show, it sounds like we're going to have a little boost with the fact that we're going to get a reveal of PlayStation just around the corner, which is obviously great to see.
Should we get on the Virgin website, Rich, see if we can get a flight booked into New York City in the next few days?
So yeah, I'm excited by this, and it's really interesting. Some people on the internet are playing this as, I've read a few things that are saying PlayStation to be released on the 5th of February, and you think, hang on a sec, are they going to shadow drop the whole console? But I think that's just where people are using the wrong terminology. They're not going to release the PlayStation on the 5th of February, they're going to reveal the PlayStation 5 on the 5th of February. So I'm really excited to... obviously I'd like them to drop it, but...
I think that would be a little bit crazy. They want to build some hype up, don't they? And I think this is a really good opportunity. We know that Microsoft have been in the headlines recently with the Xbox Series X. They've revealed a lot more and given us a lot more detail to go from with that. This is now Sony's chance to mic drop on Microsoft, essentially. Steal that limelight, let them know who's boss in this industry, and really put out a good, impressive show reel, I would hope, of some real, impressive looking next gen titles. So yeah, I think it's going to be a big one if it is true.
You would say if they're going to do a full reveal, show some games, talk about the hardware, show off the new controller, it's going to have to be a lengthy 30, 45 minutes, an hour piece to detail all of that in a way that you can understand what's going on. It's not going to be like a 10-minute state of play. I don't think it's going to be something quite significant.
Yeah, it's hard to know how they'll do it. I mean, if this rumour about it being at Sony Hall, I don't really know what that looks like as a venue, but is it going to be a live show kind of a thing with some kind of guests on stage, from different development teams? Who knows, really? I'd prefer something short and sweet, with impact. maybe a small show reel with an introduction at the start of it, really selling the biggest features of the PS5, and of course the console reveal itself. Let's see what it looks like. I'd be very happy with that, but we'll have to see.
I don't think surely they're not going to be able to flesh out many of the details if they do that, surely.
Well, they can give us a reel off of the main features, can't they, and sell them with a couple of games. We were talking about maybe MotorStorm and Gran Turismo as potential launch titles with this feedback on the shoulder buttons.
Something on that note, on this exact same article from 4chan, it says that Gran Turismo 7 will be a launch title. I thought that was interesting because we are awaiting a new Gran Turismo. Gran Turismo Sport was the last one, and it's been out for a long time now. Still a relevant game, to be fair. It's still played massively, and actually it's used by the FIA as a proper sanctioning game for official events. But we are due a new Gran Turismo, so there's some weight there that there could be a new Gran Turismo as a launch title.
And I know as you love your simulation racing games, Rich, but for me, I would adore a MotorStorm. Kind of arcadey, fun, packed to the rafters racing game. That would be amazing. And can you imagine the MotorStorm mud on a PS5? It would be practically coming out your TV screen.
And the lighting effects and stuff. That would be incredible on a game like that. Absolutely incredible.
Ray tracing. Who knows?
So moving on to the second piece of news this week is the GTA 6 hint. Now, there's been rumours going around about GTA 6. Nothing substantial, I would say. Nothing concrete that you could go on. This particular piece of GTA 6 news has been sort of touted as a confirmation that it's in the works, and it comes from Rockstar's UK tax report basically. There's video game tax relief funding, which means you can apply to the government in the UK to get tax relief off a game that you're making.
Which they've been in hot water about, to be honest, haven't they, in terms of potential accusations of tax dodging? But we won't open that tome on this at this time.
Well, it seems to be that in order to fulfil the criteria for this this video game tax relief, you have to either be making a British game, so it's set somewhere in the UK, or you have to predominantly have made the game within the UK, as I understand it. Now,
they bend and flex the rules a bit, don't they? I think on occasion.
Absolutely, yeah. So if it's made 10% in the UK, they'll say it's a UK game. But anyway, people are suggesting that is a reason that this game could be set in the UK, and obviously there's been previous GTAs. I think there was a GTA London edition at some point. As part of this video games tax relief, they have applied for a massive grant, probably the largest we've ever seen to the government, and it actually accounted for 37% of the total video game tax relief was given to anybody. So it's a massive sum.
Last year, that was.
Last year, yeah.
So basically, that seems to spell, doesn't it, a colossal game in the making.
Yes, and obviously you add 2 and 2 together, and you get GTA 6. So it's not a confirmation that there's a GTA 6 on the way. I think what we can surmise is there's another big game on the way from Rockstar, and we are suggesting that it's probably GTA 6, which hopefully will be amazing.
And we've been waiting a long time for GTA 6, haven't we? I can't remember quite how many years. Is it something like 8 years or something though since GTA 5?
I don't know whether it's quite as long as that.
No, that seems too long, doesn't it?
It's been a long time.
Years.
It's been maybe 6 or 7 years.
Yeah, and I think Rockstar are under some pressure in terms of getting their franchises coming out a bit quicker, despite obviously the money that's still rolling in for them.
So we're just over 6 years since GTA 5 released. It released in 2013 in September.
Live update.
A live update for you there.
I love it. So 6 years, blind.
So yeah, I think we're overdue, aren't we? And I think I think it's imminent, and I think this is a suggestion, sort of a nod that this is on the way. As always with these things, you're chasing shadows in the games industry.
Oh, indeed. Pinch of salt territory. But yeah, GTA 6, PS5, Christmas time, could be a very special Christmas this year. So moving on, we've got the next item, which is, could the next Bioshock be open world? So basically, Cloud Chamber, who are developing the next Bioshock game, have advertised for a lead world designer. And within this advert, the specific verbiage is, you'll contribute to the design and structure of the world and own in detail how the world is populated, with memorable experiences that complement the game's main story. So of course, extrapolating from that, it does sound like a very kind of open world format, where you've got this main story thread, and around that, the kind of peripheral side quests that are optional, which is very interesting. I don't know quite how that will work in a Bioshock. It's always been quite linear, story-driven, thick on atmosphere. They're going to have to really polish it well and make sure that world feels dense and, characterful. What are your thoughts, Rich?
I was just going to say, I second that. I look at that and think, I'm not sure how a Bioshock game works in an open world because of the way they've worked previously. It would be a fantastic achievement to be able to do that, and I think it would definitely pull the game more into the modern take on games where open world seems to be the thing, certainly at the moment. So I think that would be a good step for the series if they can implement it well. I don't always think it's the easiest proposition to create a good narrative in an open world game.
We've talked about it a lot, haven't we? That there's a kind of a balancing act, a bit of a trade-off involved. That the more you focus on the story, the harder it is to balance those open world mechanics, and vice versa. You put too much into the world. Well, how do you focus the story and provide enough incentive?
This is it. You end up with either a brilliant open world, so you can go anywhere, you can do anything, you can do things whatever order.
Yeah,
exactly. But you end up with a diluted story that's not really narratively driven. It's more random events that build up a bigger picture of a story. So I think it'd be very interesting to see how they can do that and move that forwards.
Absolutely. I mean, again, if it's an open world game and they're only just starting, you've got to think a few years away as well, surely.
Yeah, good few years. Although they have already said this is a few years away. So we'll see. I don't know. I think it could be a very good thing for the series. How they will implement it, could that affect the overall story? Maybe. We'll see.
And Richimus, do you want to hit us with the last item in today's BA news?
Yes, so I think, was it a couple of BA news shows ago, we discussed PT, basically, the Silent Hill that Kojima was interested in. Well, it looks like 2 new Silent Hill games are actually in the works. Aesthetic Gamer said on Twitter, and this was on the 21st, so just a couple of days ago when we were filming, 2 new titles were in the works by external dev teams to Konami. One was a soft reboot of the franchise, and the other an episodic style Telltale title to accompany the reboot, and that was from actual Metro, the second bit. Interesting. I sort of hope this is real because we want to see a modern day Silent Hill. The original Silent Hill was probably one of the better games of all time, I would say. I know it's a big favourite of yours, Tabs.
Yeah. I mean, just in terms of what we're going to see, this kind of episodic style Telltale title, I think that's going to be quite, those games are very much choice based, and you have this kind of almost a comic book unfold around you. And perhaps they're doing these together because that's a way to trying to hook in new audiences and get them back on board with this franchise, which has, kind of been dormant for a while now. So yeah, it's an interesting one. The soft reboot, obviously, I'm most excited about because that sounds like it could be a remake of the first game, and I think there's real potential there if they can emulate the likes of Resident Evil in terms of the remakes we've seen there. They get a really good engine going, focus on what made the game so iconic and original, and just also evolve it. Bring it back into up to date with modern gaming. I think it could be fabulous.
The other thing you would say with modern tech, ray tracing, the amazing lighting you can do with ray tracing, actually it could make a game that had a lot of atmosphere anyway, but was very much technically limited, could become outstanding. The fog, which you remember,
was crucial for that.
For
the feel of it.
But you could make that like super immersive. That would be amazing.
Well, I'm going to say I can just imagine with ray tracing, we know that can also extend to sound as well. And if you've got a really good, Dolby surround sound setup, that the radio static that really kind of forecast when you're near, a creature, a monster, that could really be quite haunting. With, again, as you say, this dense and photorealistic fog effect that we could potentially see. So very exciting times. Let's just hope they're choosing these external development teams are, decent and people who are passionate about the project. I'm not convinced Konami's leadership has always been the best, but credit to them for actually looking into it if this is true.
So we did actually hear that the original Silent Hill artist, Masahiro Ito, recently announced he was working on an unnamed title. Now, we're not saying these two things are linked, but it would be really cool if they were, because he had a big hand in the first Silent Hill. So I think that would be really cool if he was.
And credit to this particular leaker, Aesthetic Gamer. Apparently, he has been proven correct before in regards to the Resident Evil series and a number of leaks there. So it sounds like he has got legitimate sources within the industry. So yeah, fingers crossed. Definitely worthy of an item this week. So yeah, just to finish us off, a little bit of a public announcement for anybody out there who has never experienced the joys of the Half-Life series and perhaps hasn't quite got their gaming fix this Christmas time and New Year. The entire series of Half-Life is free up until the release of the next instalment, Half-Life Alyx, coming sometime in March 2020. So that's Half-Life, Half-Life 2, Half-Life 2 Episode 1, Half-Life 2 Episode 2, presumably, that I've missed off on this this sheet, Rich. Let's go with that. So yeah, they're fantastic games, and although they may look a bit dated now, the level of atmosphere going on in those games is fabulous.
They're free. If you've got a gaming PC or a PC,
access
go and get
to
them,
Steam essentially is crucial, isn't it, on this one?
Basically, yeah.
Free on Steam until March 2020.
You?
Yes, precisely. So, Rich, why don't we talk about what you've been playing mostly this week? We'll bolt that on as well while we're here.
I actually haven't played. No, I tell a lie. I've been playing. I've been trying to playing Luigi's Mansion co-op with the missus, and we've been trying to complete that this week.
Trying. That's
just time. It's just time. It's not to do with. It's not to do with skill sets. It's to do with time. So we've got close, but I think we're sort of like a couple of floors away from completing. So. Yeah, I'm just trying to get that completed at the moment.
I think I remember seeing on Game Explain, Andre said that it really comes to life in two-player, Luigi's Mansion.
Oh, it's really good fun. I think it's probably more fun. It feels a bit samey when you play it single-player, but as two-player, it seems like there's a more fun element to it. So, yeah, I like it. What about you, mate? What have you been playing?
To be honest, mate, I've not been playing a great deal. Again, busy in my personal life, and I'm barely keeping up with my fantasy football league. So, I tell you what, though, I did switch on The Tourist, which I know you've been advocating heavily.
Tourist. Yeah, get on it.
I switched it on. I jumped through a couple of trees, grabbed some coins, turned the TV on, and then that's about it. Yeah,
hilarious.
So I've started it, but yeah, I've got that queued up alongside Jedi Fallen Order, which needs completing. I think I'm close to the end, so that's a job for the next week coming.
Nice.
I think that'll wrap us up nicely for this week's BA News. Don't forget, everybody, it's every Friday at 5 PM, so please tell your friends about it. Come and join next week. And yeah, if you like the video, please give us a like. Really helps to support the channel. If you're not subscribed already, go do that right now and ring the bell for notifications to keep up with everything Rich and I put out. And I think that's probably about it. Another one for the archives.
Stamped and completed.